Okay, let's start the class now. Start the workshop. Good evening, everybody. See now, we are going to do, let's say, troubleshooting case study now. And for troubleshooting, you need to have the diagram in your hand. Like, you should have that case study diagram with you. If you are not already downloaded, you can download from here. I'm going to share the screen now. I'll tell you as to where you can share. You can, let's say, download. When you go to the website www.koticoncepts.com, you go to www.koticoncepts.com. I created a separate course only for workshops now, and I call it, let's say, free workshops. Free workshops. When you go to the free workshops here, if you can go to, like, say, the course, you can see here on left hand side, you can say start course or continue course will be there here. There I give the case study diagram, free workshop on troubleshooting networking problems number 1. Troubleshooting case study diagram I posted over there. You can download this particular diagram from the website. So this is a diagram you need to follow while doing the case study, the workshop. Second, I also give the case study specification also kept over there. Case study specification. If you click on the specification, also PDF file, all the troubleshooting tickets are there. Troubleshooting ticket number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 till 12, 20 troubleshooting tickets are there, which we are going to solve now. So you can also download the troubleshooting tickets from here. And then I also thought I'll also give the activity file to you. So if you click here, you also get the Cisco Packet Tracer activity file. You can also, if at all your Cisco Packet Tracer installed on your system, you can directly download the Packet Tracer file from here, and then also try to log in. And then do the activity what I'm doing. You can also practice same thing. Whatever you are going to do now, you can practice on the same thing if you have Cisco Packet Tracer with you, right? So all these three things are under a course here called as free workshops. So if you are not downloaded the case study, please download here. And you have to go to koticoncepts.com and register for free just by verifying your email ID. You have just verify your email ID, then you can download and keep it with you. I also send as WhatsApp message also to others. So if you only have WhatsApp, you can also the case study on the phone itself. You can also, right? Okay. Now, let us start the workshop now. See now, I prepared a set from some troubleshooting tickets like this. In this particular workshop, we are trying to, let's say, do troubleshooting of issues related to physical connections, IP address assignment on systems and routers, default gateway IP address assignment, DNS server and client configuration, HTTP server and client configuration, DHCP server and client configuration, FTP server and client configuration, and also mail server and its client configuration. So if you want, you can download these files, all the 3 files, activity 1, case study diagram, and also specification file, activity file from the website, right, which I showed to you. Then I prepared tickets like this. There's one ticket, like saying the Farooq and Aji using systems Tomato client 3 and client 4 respectively, complain that they're not able to access the website so-and-so and so-and-so.com, right? So now you should troubleshoot this particular ticket. So you see why they're not able to access, find out the reason, and then solve the problem. Similarly, like say Gopi using system Potato client 1 complains saying that he can access the website potato.com but not, let's say, tomato.com. So we should see the diagram again. Why is it not able to access? We can have to troubleshoot. Simran using systems Potato client 2 complains that she can access website so-and-so but not so-and-so, right? Like that, we need to now start solving the issues now. Gopi, Simran, Gopesh, Arun, Haji for use systems in Potato and all, they can access website like that. I give, let's say, troubleshooting tickets, I give, let's say, around 20 tickets, I give like this. So this also is, let's say, a series of workshops I plan to do on troubleshooting. This is the first workshop on troubleshooting right now. Right? This is the first workshop on troubleshooting. I thought also later I'll also add, let's say, one more, let's say we were starting routing, I'll prepare one more case study. And then we say routing issue, routing problems. Maybe let's say one case study, only routing protocols and network address translation, GRE tunnels or VPN, like that. Different, like say, workshops I'll be doing hereafter. Series of workshops on troubleshooting, because I thought most of your working professionals, I thought if I do workshops on troubleshooting, it will be let's say better. Right? So let us start now the first troubleshooting case study. We'll have a break at 6 o'clock, exactly 6 o'clock. For around 10 minutes, we'll have a small break. Then, let's say, we'll continue the workshop. So let's start the workshop now. First of all, let me introduce you to the case study diagram. So I think you're all able to see the diagram, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now this is a diagram we are going to work with. In particular case study, I am using 81 devices. I'm using 81 devices in this particular case study. So we have say servers, we have say client machines, we have switches, we have say routers. Like that, I kept around 81 systems in the case study to develop this case study with troubleshooting. Let's see the device also now. So here if you see, all these are servers. All these are servers. These are all servers. This is acting as a DHCP server here. This one is acting as a DNS server. This one is acting as a mail server. And all these four are acting as FTP servers, file transfer protocol servers. Right? Then we have, let's say, these systems acting as web server, HTTP server, HTTP protocol server, HTTP servers. Right? Then we also have all the systems here are acting as clients. All these are PCs or desktops here. These systems also are desktops where some users are sitting here. They would like to access servers present in different companies. And we also again, as normally we have switches here, switch 1, switch 2. We also say switch 3, switch 4, switch 5, and switch 6 connecting to each other. And switch is also connected to what? The router. So like that, again we have this particular company also, there are servers here. The FTP server, HTTP servers, mail servers, DNS servers, DHCP servers. And also they also have their own clients here, and also they have their own switches, and also they are connected to a router here, right? Like that, this company also has got servers here, and also PCs, desktop machines are also there, and also switches also are there. So I'm using, let's say what, I'm using servers, I'm using, let's say desktop PCs, I'm also using switches, and also I'm using what, routers. So using servers, switches, client machines, and routers, I developed a case study with around 81 devices are there. So this case study can easily run even on your laptop because you are using what, Cisco Packet Tracer to do this particular case study. So this diagram you can download from the website www.koticoncepts.com. You can go there. You can download this particular thing from the website itself. Fine. Now in this particular company, there are, let's say, four. In this case, there are four companies are there. This particular company is, let's say, Mango. So this particular company is what? Mango here. So all the systems are in Mango company here. And this particular company here, let's say, is Potato. So they have a website called www.potato.com, ftp.potato.com, Potato Client 1, Potato Client 2. We are saying this company is what? Potato. And here we are saying this particular company is Tomato. We have here Tomato company here. Again, where there are, let's say, some systems are in Tomato. And also have one more company here called as Banana. banana also is there. Okay. Some issue by pad, no problem. So we also have say banana also is there. So like that, we have different companies. There's a company called Mango. There's a company called Potato. There's a company called Tomato. We also have a company called as Banana. So I kept 4 different companies here, and I kept like say all the 4 different companies connected to one route. A simple case I prepared so that we can do the labs. Now let us have a look at the IP addressing scheme of this particular company. So these are the IP addressing scheme here. So for the company called as like say Mango, for the company called Mango, I am using the IP addressing scheme as 78.0.0.0. So the network ID is 78.0.0. This IP address is 78.0.0.11. You have 78.0.0.12, 78.13, 78.21, 22, 23, and also 24 here. That is 78 network ID, 78.0.0.0. I'm using for this particular company called as Mango. And for the company here called, like say, Potato, I'm using the network ID as 201.202.203.11, 201.202.203.12, 21, 22, and all I'm using. So 201.202.203. So again, for the company here called as Tomato, what's the network I'm using here now? 162.172.0.11. 162.172.0.12 goes on like this. So 162.170. Something I've taken. And here for the banana, I've taken 131.141.0. Something slash 16. The subnet mask is slash 16 here. The sub is class B network I've taken here. For tomato again, I've taken a class B network ID. For potato, I've taken like say a class C network ID. And for mango, I've taken a class A network ID. So yeah, let's say 4 network IDs here. 78.0.0.0/8. We also have here 201.202.203.0/24. We also have 162.172.0.0/16. We also have say 131.141.0.0/16. So this IP addressing scheme I have taken. So there are 4 different companies in our case study, and different companies are in different network IDs. And all of them are connected only by one router as of now. Maybe in future when you do the workshops on static routing, I may keep like say more routers in between and then see us how to troubleshoot those issues also. So in this particular case, we are only going to limit ourselves to troubleshooting issues related to physical connections, the line protocol being up or down, and also IP address assignment. IP address may have been given to the systems properly or not given properly, not at all assigned. IP assignment related issues we'll see. The line protocol is off, on, those things also we'll see. Then also you see troubleshooting. Then also you see troubleshooting related to DNS server, DHCP server, FTP server, HTTP server, and all we'll try to see. Right? Fine. Now, if you see carefully, here we have, I'm getting a lot of like say messages saying that they don't have password here. Actually, they should click on the link, right? Just a minute. Okay, let's start the class then. Let us see first of all the first troubleshooting ticket. I'll show the ticket.
Hello. Hello.
So this is the Cisco packet tracer file we are going to work with. You all can see this, right? Okay. So here we have, let's say these particular systems belong to the Mango company here. These systems here belong to what? Company called as Mango till here. These particular systems belong, this is a network of potato. And we have said this is a network of tomato. And then we have this particular network is what? Company called as banana. Fine. So let us see, let's say, the case study specification. Okay. So the specification says we are going to, let's say, learn troubleshooting issues related to physical connections, address adjustment, and all these things. You can download these files from the website. Now let us see the trouble ticket number 1. Trouble ticket number 1 says Farooq and Haji. There are two users like Farooq and Haji. They use systems Tomato Client 3 and Tomato Client 4 respectively. So Farooq is sitting on Tomato Client 3. They belong to a company called as Tomato. Haji also is sitting on Tomato Client 4. They complain saying that they're not able to access the website www.tomato.com and products.tomato.com. So Haji and Farooq, they say that they could not, they're not able to access www.tomato.com and products.tomato.com. So let's see what they try to say. Let us go back to our diagram now. So this is our diagram. So where are these users Farooq and Haji present? They are present in this particular company here called Tomato. You all can see clearly, right? So where we have let's say user called as Farooq. Here we have user called as Farooq. Farooq is at let's say what? Tomato.com here, like Tomato Client 3. Haji is also at Tomato Client 4. So these two users are complaining saying that they're not able to access www.tomato.com and products.tomato.com. Right? So they're not able to access these two. So let's see as to what will be the issues now. Let's say open in OneNote. Okay. Right. So these users are trying to say the user like say Farooq and Haji. Farooq is sitting on Tomato client 3 here. Haji is sitting on Tomato client 4. And these two users complain saying that they are not able to access the website tomato.com and also let's say products.tomato.com by their names. So actually they belong to what? The same company called Tomato only. Haji and Farooq belong to what? The same company called Tomato. They are at IP address 162.172.0.12 and also 162.170.0.12. Sorry, these are actually as DHCP client. Tomato client is acting as DHCP client and Tomato client for us is acting as DHCP client. So they get their IP address from the DHCP server. The DHCP server would have given them IP address automatically, right? So they get the DHCP gives IP address and subnet mask and also some optional parameters like DNS or IP address and also router IP address and all, right? So these two are acting as DHCP clients. So Farooq and Haji sitting on the Tomato client 3 and Tomato client 4, which are acting as DHCP clients. They complain saying that they are not able to access the website www.tomato.com and then products.tomato.com. So let's see how to troubleshoot this now. So I want to make it interactive. So I open the Tomato, which part of systems are involved in this now? We have say Tomato client 3 is there. So I click on Tomato client 3. So this is what Tomato client 3 here. I keep it on the screen. I also click on Tomato client 4. Right? And then we have say Tomato client 4. And because they're acting as DHCP clients, the DS server also is involved in it. So let's double click on the DHCP server also. DHCP server also I keep here. And then of course the websites are there. Tomato.com website. Tomato.com website here. Tomato HTTP server also I keep here on the top. And then I also have a Tomato HTTP server too also I keep. Because these systems are involved, I thought I'll open a connection to all these things. Fine. First of all, let us go to Tomato client 3. I go Tomato client 3, I go to desktop. I give the command ipconfig. Where am I now? I'm in Tomato client 3, right? So I give the command ipconfig. Where am I now? I'm on Tomato client 3. It has got IP address as 162.172.0.40. 42 from where? From the DHCP server, right? So I give the command ipconfig/all. It shows this particular output saying the IP address is 162.170.42. It got it from the DHCP server 162.170.0.11. Now the question is, what is the IP address of www.tomato.com? not a good idea to keep everything here, I think. So let me store this. So let us go to the diagram again. So what is the IP address of Tomato web server here? They are at IP address 161.0.31, 161.0.32, right? So let us go and see whether, what will we do first of all? So the Tomato client 3 and Tomato client 4 are not able to access the websites. So what is the first thing we try to do? How do we check? How do we proceed with troubleshooting? Any ideas you have, you can give. Taking some time for it to organize, but okay. So I go to Tomato client 3 here. Fine. So where am I? I am on the Tomato system. I say IP config /all. When I say IP config /all, it shows that the IP address is 160.0.42. It got the IP address from the DHCP server, right? So from there, if I go to this is where Farooq is sitting here. If I double click on the web browser, he would like to access www.tomato.com here, right? He's trying to access www.tomato.com. So he gives a name on products.tomato.com. He tries to give the name here. He says www.tomato.com. He's not able to access. Even if he says www.products.com, products.tomato.com. It says products.tomato.com. He's not able to access, right? So Farooq is not able to access the websites www.tomato.com and also products.tomato.com. What about Haji? So Haji is sitting on Tomato client 4. This is Haji's system. If I go desktop, I give the command IP config. It also has got IP address as 162.170.0.41. From there, if he says he would like to access www.tomato.com, he's not able to access. Even he says he would like to access products, products.tomato.com also, he is not able to access, right? So now what could issues now? Why are they not able to access? How do we start troubleshooting these issues, right? So what do you do first of all? So first of all, we try to give what? We try to see whether the IP address assignment on the servers and clients is correct or not, right? The server is reachable at least by its IP address or not, right? So let us go from this particular Farooq system here and then try to ping the system at IP address 31 and 30. Let's see whether we could ping these two systems or not from Farooq system. So I go to Tomato client 3 here. From there I give the command ping. I give the IP address as 162.172.0.31. I could ping. So, and also can I ping 32? Yes. So these systems are able to ping each other. These systems are able to ping each other, right? Okay, let's make it interactive now. So you can also give suggestions to me. You can unmute yourself and answer the questions. So from Farouk system, I'm able to ping these two servers, but when I go to the browser here, I'm not able to access by name. If I go here, I say www.tomato.com, I'm not able to access, right? So how do I go to troubleshooting this? Any ideas? Please keep talking. Please give me answers now.
DNS server?
What should I check?
So we can try to access the website using the IP address, and if it is
Okay, let us see whether I could access by IP address or not. So I go to the browser. I give the IP address as 162.172.0.31. So I say enter. I'm able to access by IP address. I'm also able to access IP address .32 also, products.tomato.com also I'm able to access. So with IP address I'm able to access, but I'm not able to access with name.
So we have to check with the DNS.
So I say www.tomato.com. I'm not able to access by name, but I could access by IP address. So if at all I could access by IP address, not able to access by name, the problem is what? The problem is definitely with what?
DNS.
Name resolution. The names are not getting resolved with IP address, right? So some problem was some DNS server problem is there. So how do I go about it? We understood the problem at with DNS server. So they also have DNS server here at IP address 192.168.0.12. This is acting as a DNS server.
You can go to the command prompt and then do NSLookup with the DNS server IP address.
Is NSLookup available in packet tracer? What's the command you want me to give, ma?
So NSLookup, and then you can give server as the DNS server IP address.
1.6.6.
NSLookup, yeah.
Right.
No, I mean NSLookup to the web page, but it should take the. I mean, if it is giving the resolution, yeah.
Yeah, NS lookup to that particular website IP address, sir.
What is the command you want me to give?
Yeah, NS lookup on.
I mean,
just the IP address. Yeah.
We need to type just NS lookup.
And that
sir, can you
160.
give NSLookup and enter?
Like the www.google.com. So that it will resolve the particular DNS which is related to the site.
No, NSLookup and what?
IP address, sir. 162.172.
No.
No, that IP address, that tomato.com server IP address.
No. If you type that won't resolve because already it is not working the DNS. So that we need to check what DNS is working for the local site. So that we need to type public DNS like www.google.com or www.yahoo.com. So that we can, so that DNS will resolve that the local.
No, sir, I think.
See, now let us avoid working with NSLookup as of now. Because all the servers are with ourselves, right? I can go to DNS server directly and then look into DNS server. I can go to DHCP also directly look at DHCP server. I can directly look at all the systems because all the systems are at our, let's say, availability is there with the console of all this. Let us directly go to DNS and then see whether what is wrong with that, right? So let us not go for NSLookup because let's say when I took the class for the other students, I did not, let's say, take class on NSLookup. So NSLookup we'll see other some other time when you go only for DNS troubleshooting. Right now, because all servers are available with us, you can directly click and then check. Let us avoid going to NSLookup, right? So now, with this keeping this in mind, now you tell me as to how do you try troubleshoot. You understand now? So what do you want me to check now? I'm not able to access by name, I'm able to access by IP address. What should I check now?
We can check the DNS server A record.
Provided by the DHCP server, or it should be a static configuration.
So let us see first of all. So let's follow the packet. When you try to, let's say, do troubleshooting, let's say follow the packet. So when I go to Farouk goes here, he says www.tomato.com. says www.tomato.com. What happens now? First of all, the name has to get resolved to whom? The query has to go to whom? No, the DNS server, asking the DNS server as to what is the IP address of the name www.tomato.com, right? To ask so-and-so DNS server, first of all, the client should have been given the IP address of DNS server. I should now first of all check what? You should check whether Farouk system is really acting as DNS client of the DNS server or not, right? How do I check? What's the command I give to check whether the Farouk system has got the IP address of DNS server?
ipconf/all.
ipconfig, I give the command ipconfig /.
Please.
When I see here ipconfig/all, what do you see now? Do you see any issue here now?
So
No
DNS server
DNS.
is not.
Sir, can you ping to that FQDN? That
Yes,
tomato.
here is issue that PC is not taking DNS and IP.
There is no
No
DNS.
IP address.
It is not DNS client, sir.
Yeah, it says that this is not. What should I do now? It's a simple problem. The problem is the system doesn't have,
So the local site DNS.
Farouk system doesn't have the IP address or DNS server, right? So Farouk system doesn't know as to who is the DNS server. So what should I do now? I should make it act as what? DNS client of DNS server, right? For that reason, I can actually go into, I can go to Cisco, I can go to IP configuration here. I can give, but is acting as what? DHCP client. So this system is acting as DHCP client. So what should I check now? So this is acting as DHCP client. So what doesn't know the IP address of DNS server? What should I check now?
You go to the, you need to
DHCP server.
Go to DHCP, please.
DHCP server, right? Okay. So we should
Yeah,
now check.
and add a DNS IP address. That's
Correct.
it.
So we should now see whether the DHCP server is giving the IP, when the DHCP is giving the IP address to Farouk system, it should have been giving what? It should have been given IP address. It should
Yeah.
also use something called as subnet mask. It also has to use something called as DNS server IP address and router address also, right? We should see whether it is really giving it or not. So it's really, we are seeing that it's not giving the IP, it's only giving what? It's only giving the IP address. It's ipcon/all. It says that this is my DHCP server. It's giving only the IP address and subnet mask. It is not giving the IP address of the DNS server to me, right? So maybe I should check what? I should check now the DHCP server.
Yeah.
So I go to DHCP server of Tomato here. Where am I? I go to command prompt. I give the command ipconfig. You can see that IP address is 160.170.11. There, what should I do now? I go to services. I want to see whether DHCP is, how the DHCP server is configured. This is the configuration I see on the DHCP server. Now, what's the problem here?
So DNS server is not configured.
That's it.
So DHCP server is asked here saying, you start giving the IP address from so-and-so. Start giving the IP address from so-and-so with so-and-so subnet mask. And you can give maximum of 10 users IP address like this. But it's not configured to give what? IP address of the DNS server. That's the problem. So it's not in the address server. What's the address of DNS server? The DNS address is what? 162.170.12. So I should ask the DHCP, when you give the IP address to the clients, not only give the IP address and subnet mask, also give the DNS server IP address as 162.170.0.12, right? Where should I configure that? I should configure that on the DHCP server. So let's go and do it now. So I go to DHCP server. There, where should I type it? I type here,
Yeah.
right? What's the IP address of this? 162.172.0.12. That is the IP address of the DNS server. So again, I say what? Save. Now you can see here. So we ask the DHCP to your clients, when you give the IP address and subnet mask, also give the DNS or IP address as so and so. Now if I go to Tomato client 3 Farouk system here, what is the command I give to get the IP address again? Renew everything from the D server.
Release or renew.
So I give the command ipconfig/renew.
Release.
Release. Now again I give the command ipconfig/renew.
Renew.
Renew. So what I get now, I get not only the IP address here, I got the IP address as 42. I also got the subnet mask like this. And also I got the DNS or IP address as .1. So now can I access the Tomato by the IP address now? Name www.tomato.com. I could access. Even if I say products.tomato.com, products.tomato.com also I could access, right? Similarly, the same thing I should do on what? Tomato client 4, where let's say Haji is sitting over there. So again, I should go and do what? He should also get, if I check here, I say ipconfig/all, it shows that he doesn't know what is IP address of DNS server, right? That's why when you go to browser, he says www.tomato.com. He could not access by name. So again, what should I do now? What should I do on this particular system here?
The release and renew.
So ipconfig/release. I say release, and also I say ipconfig/renew. Now what happens now? He gets IP address, subnet mask, again fresh from the DS server. It also gets a DNS server IP address as .17. So now can I access now? If I go to the browser, it says www.tomato.com. He could access. Even he says products.tomato.com also he could access. products.tomato.com also he could access. You understand now? So the first problem was what? The problem was Tomato client 3 and Tomato client 4 are acting as the DHCP clients. So they should get the IP address of what? The DNS server from the DHCP. The DHCP server was not configured to give the IP address of the DNS also to the clients automatically. That's why they're able to access by IP address, but they could not access the websites by their name. So the issue was what? The problem was with DHCP server not being configured to issue the DNS or IP address to the DHCP clients. So that's why you're not able to access, but now we're able to access because we have done the troubleshooting. So we have done our first troubleshooting here. We have done our first troubleshooting ticket where we are asking system to do things, right?
Sir, what is the configuration for the switch in this?
Switch, I did not do anything at all. There's no VLANs, nothing on the switch. All on the VLAN one only, so no issue with the switch here. So troubleshoot ticket was what? Farooq and Najib using systems also respectively not able to access. So they're not able to access Tomato and products.com, they're able to solve it, right? So we have completed the trouble ticket number 1. Like that, we'll go slowly into second one. Second one says, Gopi using system potato client 1 complaint saying that he can access the website potato.com, but he cannot access www.tomato.com. So Gopi sitting on is present in the potato here. He's a person in potato company. He's able to access potato.com, his own website, but he cannot access tomato.com, he complains. So let's solve this also later. So before that, some students are actually attending the class from, let's say, UK. So it's a prayer time for them now. So let's wait for 10 minutes and then start the class. We'll take a small break for 10 minutes, start the class again. We'll try to solve, let's say, trouble ticket 2, 3, 4 and all till 20 today. It may take around, let's say, 1.5 hours for us to do this. So let's give a small break for our friends so that they can complete their prayers and come and join.
Hello.
Okay, sir.
Sir?
Hello. Sir?
Others?
Sir?
Come here, available.
Sir?
We start the class again at 6:10. So by that time, our brothers go and pray and come back. Anybody, let's say, who's available here, we can keep discussing.
Sir, where you are getting that questions? Can you please repeat that? From where we can get that questions?
Yeah.
Which?
The website, let's say, you need to register the website www.portconsul.com.
One second.
You go to www.portconsul.com and you have to verify your email ID and then log into the website. There's
Or
a,
the PDF file itself is the one you are talking about, right, sir?
there are three files. Sir. One is, let's say, case study diagram PDF. Second one, let's say, case specification PDF. Third one is the packet tracer activity file.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You can download all this. You can also do that. What I'm doing now, you also can do on your own. If your packet is installed on your system, you can do this.
Thank
you will upload the recording as well.
And the recording also I'll upload. Definitely I'll upload the recording also. So that any issue, you can also watch the video also and then do it.
Yes, yes. That's why I asked during the. Thank you, sir.
Any issues here? Anything like that?
Sir, Mr. Koti. Sir, I have one doubt. It is related.
Can you ask me?
Yeah. Suppose there is a BGP process on Cisco 3850 device, and we have static route for subnet, reverse static route of a subnet, and suppose we directly advertise those subnet in BGP, then can those network advertise to another BGP neighbor? Should we redistribute static, or directly we can use the network statement in BGP process?
Yeah, BGP, let's say BGP protocol, the network command, the importance of network command is different on routing. The IG routing is OSPF, EIGRP and RIP protocol, and also different for BGP.
Yeah.
In RIP, OSPF and EIGRP, when you give the command network command, you are trying to say enable the routing protocol process on interface connected to source or network ID. But when you give the network command in BGP, you are actually asking what? Advertise the network ID to the BGP routers. So when you give the network, the network need not be directly be connected in BGP. The route is routing table. The route is routing table. You can give network command address the route to other routers.
Okay, so there is no need to use the redistribute static, right? You can directly.
If at all, let's say that's if at all you want, let's say, how many network commands you can give? Imagine, let's say there are 100 static routes are there like that. You can't keep on giving network command 100 times, right? So you want all the 100 static routes to be sent into BGP, you can say redistribute static routes into BGP.
Okay.
One or two network IDs, you can simply say network command also you can give.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Sir, in the meantime, can I ask one more question?
Please.
Yeah. What is the importance of null IP address and what is null IP address?
Null IP, null interface.
Null
interface is there.
So what is the null interface?
Null interface also is called as a bit bucket. Also called as bit bucket. For example, imagine I'm R1 router and I advertise a route, say default route to all my other client, other let's say downstream routers. I send a default route saying that any net NMS, if you don't know, all of you send the packet to me. So I'm a BGP router, for example. And I want all the OSP routers, if they don't know the route, I want all of them to forward the packet to me so that I can forward the packet accordingly. So instead of sending all the BGP routes into IGP, what I do normally I send a default route. I may send, let's say, command called as default image originate on the RIP or OSP, I can do that. So all of them, if they don't know, they all send the packet to me, right? So I also, when I have a route only, I send the packet. If I don't have route, what will I do? I drop the packet elementally, send the route is unroutable. I don't have route in the routing. So anyway, to save some process cycles on the BGP router, it's a good idea that I added default route saying, any net when you must send the packet to null zero. Means what? If you don't have route in the routing table, simply drop the packet. So if at all I point a route to null zero means for this particular network ID, drop the packets. So null zero also is called as bit bucket. You understood here? So
Yes,
whenever default routing, now we also add a default route saying any net must pass send the packet to null zero. So route is not there. I don't think twice. I simply drop the packet. So I can save some process cycles on the route.
So we can create any interface as a null interface, right?
Null0 is just a software interface. Let's say loopback interface, loopback.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hello.
Anil.
Yes, sir. So my doubt is I have just now registered on your website and I verified my email. I'm not able to see this packet file you have just shown on the start of the workshop.
No, when
Can
you
you
access,
just-
you can add, like, say, the free workshops as a course you can add to yourself. You can say start course. Left hand side,
Mhm.
start course will be there. Click on it, then you can see all these options.
Okay. So I am now actually I am now clicking on start website, start the course, but it shows 404 error. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
should join after the course.
And I'm not able to hear it clearly. If you say start course over there, then you should see on the left hand side, you should see all the whatever is posted, you can see. Then you can download from there. Click on that, you'll get download.
Okay, sir. We'll schedule it.
Yeah, hello, Mr. Koti.
We'll start.
Yeah, it's this lab activity is on the website.
Okay.
I mean, this activity you're sorting out now, the troubleshooting, is in the website.
Yes, it's there. I also kept it under Hajin Farooq course, also kept it over there as activity number 14. You can either download it from there or you can download from free workshops.
Okay.
Okay, then I think It is back. You can start the class now. Farooq. Let's do another 2 minutes and we'll start the class. Okay, let's start again now. See here,